Hey, Derek here. Some more reflections from Kuala Lumpur about Singapore. This time, one of the things that came up a lot in my time in Singapore is AI. Singapore is one of the countries, every country is really dialing into AI, but I feel like Singapore is one of the countries that's more on the forward foot of that. And so there's some interesting themes that I found within some of the conversations. So here are 5 insights from me from my time in Singapore. 1, government is fundamentally a system of workflows. One of the most powerful reframes for me from the conversations I had is the government is not primarily an organization chart or a set of programs, but rather a network of these workflows. AI, therefore's real impact will come from redesigning these workflows, something it actually is really good at, and not just simply digitizing processes. The shift, therefore, is the move digital transformation from software implementation to workflow redesign. And honestly, this makes me think about a book I read couple of years ago called The Phoenix Project. It was all about how to think about workflows and how when you shift workflows, you also shift where bottlenecks are. So one of the things I'm really curious about is where are the bottlenecks going to be in the new government that we have now? 2, there's a really sort of 3-stage model of transformation around AI that I found quite helpful as well. So stage 1, automation. AI handles administrative tasks such as documentation, compliance checks, and research. This is where we see a lot of things happening around AI right now. Number 2, workflow redesign. So first you automate the workflow. Once you automate it, you start to think, how can I redesign this workflow to make it better? So entire processes are restructured as AI becomes embedded within the decision system. And then 3 is outcome redesign. So forget about the workflow. Let's go all the way to the outcome. What is it we're trying to redesign? What is it we're trying to do? And I think real transformation begins as we move up through stage 2 and into stage 3. Number 3, AI will increase the value of human work. Counterintuitively, the more capable AI becomes, the more important human judgment and empathy may become in government. So if AI is able to absorb paperwork and scheduling and data analysis and research, that moves us up the decision pipeline to be around citizen interaction, hopefully, but also like problem solving and trust building. This is where humans are much more effective. So therefore, the future public servant may be less bureaucratic and more relational, less about process, more about interactions. Interesting concept. Number 4, government systems struggle to measure the human side. This is kind of an obvious one, but government is so focused, particularly around new public management, around KPIs, measuring things like process time, number of cases handled, cost efficiency. As building on the last theme, humans become and human relationships become more important. How do we measure stuff like empathy and trust and dignity and care? As AI takes over measurable tasks, governments need to find new ways of valuing the human part of work. And finally, 5, AI raises new questions about cognitive sovereignty. So sovereignty is a hot topic, as you know. Cognitive sovereignty was a new term for me. As governments increasingly rely on AI systems built by private companies or foreign providers, a strategic issue emerges. Who controls the intelligence shaping public decisions? This raises questions around technological dependency, national autonomy, the ability of governments to innovate independently. Cognitive sovereignty may become a core dimension of national sovereignty in the AI era. And I will actually do a shout out. There's a really interesting podcast episode by Ezra Klein all about this question that dropped just in the last week. So check that out. I'll link it in the notes. So I think that the deeper pattern amongst all of this is what AI really represents to government is a rebalancing of where the humans put their time and energy into government. So it's not just about, AI is going to take our jobs. No, AI is it's changing the way that we actually engage with government and the way government works.